Hey guys, so I'm out here with my dog Gunner and my cat Kitty. We couldn't find a name for her. My son usually names the pets, and for some reason he didn't care for her because he didn't get to pick her out, and he still missed his other cat who had passed away after she was 20 years old. So anyway, he wouldn't name this cat. And so my daughter, we just kept calling her Kitty, waiting for him to name her, and he never did. So I just said, should we just stick with Kitty? So her name is Kitty. Kitty! Say hi, Kitty. Okay, we'll zoom in on Kitty. Can I? Oh, there it is. Hi, Kitty. Hi, kitty cat. Kitty cat. Is she pretty? She has green eyes. And then this is my buddy Gunner. And this is how, you might hear them in some videos if you're my subscriber, and you've heard some noises in the background. It's generally them. She rings the bell on the door, and he chomps on a bone, usually right by my feet. So he's a rescue. They're both rescues, actually. I like to get rescues. They're very loyal, and they need to be rescued. So I guess that's just in my personality. I have nothing against, full breeds or going to a breeder, I guess. But, I just go to the local humane society type of place and get them. And yeah, so Gunner's first, he came, his papers, he came with papers. So he was actually born in the system. His mom was a rescue. And so then she had a litter, and then Gunner became a therapy dog. And as a puppy, he lived in a prison, and he was a therapy dog, either for the prisoners and the guards. I'm not really sure. I didn't really get many details about it, but his name was Amore. 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 See, he still knows his name. Amore. Amore. Amor. And he's so lovable. He's so sweet. And then I don't really know how it works because he was from Texas, which is on the other coast from me. It's on the West Coast, and I'm on the East Coast of the United States. And anyway, so he was in a prison, and then eventually he had to leave the prison. I guess he got too old. And then he lived with a trainer. Oh, I guess he got adopted. That's right. He got adopted, and then he lived with a family. And they told me that he would do this, and he sort of did. He typically picks like the one in the family that needs the most protection, and he latches on to that one the most. He doesn't really like men so much, although there are some men that he does like. But in general, I have to really be cautious with him around men because he doesn't like them, and he came that way. But anyway, apparently this family he lived with, he attached himself to one of the children, and then I think he was aggressive towards the father in the family, father figure in the family. And he then got sent to live with a trainer in Texas. And then his name got changed to Dylan. Dylan! 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 Yep, there he goes. So his name got changed to Dylan. And then he lived with the trainer for a while, and she trained him really well. And then he came to the Northeast somehow. We do get a lot of dogs from Texas. And from what I understand, a lot of people in Texas adopt dogs with the best intentions. And then they don't, unfortunately, they don't fulfill their commitment to the dog. So they had a lot of a lot of dogs given up for adoption there. So anyway, Gunner came to me. He came to New Jersey, and my son kept sending me these clips of news articles or ads of dogs that need a home. And finally I said, we'll go, but I'm not promising anything. I didn't want to get up. I know this sounds really silly, but I live in a condominium, so it's not like I can open the door and just be like, all right, go to the bathroom. You have to walk the dog, and you have to pick up after it, and you have to, he needs exercise, and that's a couple times a day. And I have a hard time in the morning sometimes. I don't know if I'll be able to get up in time, and with work, I have enough of a hard time getting to work when I used to have to commute. So I over the years I didn't commit. So anyway, I told him, all right, we'll go look, but I don't know. So we went to look at this one dog. I forget her name. It was a female dog. And, she seemed perfect on paper. And then we got there and we were, I wasn't really feeling it. And my son was like, no, absolutely not. And we looked at every single dog. It was at like a Petco, I think it was, or a PetSmart. I think it was a Petco. We went to every cage, and we had Kitty already because we had rescued her. She's another story that I'll get into another time. She's quite a character. So we had Kitty, and so I had to worry about Kitty because, I'm her mother or her grandmother or whatever I am because my daughter got her. But I have to protect her. So, I went around and looked at all the characteristics. Were they cat friendly? And a lot of them weren't cat friendly. And so we were limited. He's obsessed with this tennis ball. Isn't he so cute? He is the best shortstop ever. So anyway, I'll try to do this so you don't get dizzy. So we were on our way out. We hadn't found a dog that we liked. And we run into the person running the rescue. She has a dog on a leash. And she was like, oh, did you find anything? And we were like, no, not really. We really didn't. And then I saw the dog on the leash. And he was like, absolute perfection. The exact size. He's like, look at that face. And it was Gunner. And he was just perfect. I mean, Gunner's 11 now. So he has a lot of white on his face, but he has a really handsome face. And we were like, I said, actually, that dog you have on the leash, is that your dog or is that dog available? And she was like, oh, he's not available right now. We just got him, testing him, and then she goes, oh, well, here, if you want to take him for a walk around the store or outside, for a walk, here. So we're in like a store and in kind of a busy, not a highway, but it was like I guess it is a highway actually, area. So I was like, take him for a walk. And she was like, well, go in the parking lot and see how if you connect and this and that. And so my son and my son's an adult, mind you, okay? All right, he's already like out of college, adult age, but he still lived with me. And they had always bugged me, for a dog. But I always got cats because I said, I'm not getting up in the morning to walk the dog. So we were like, okay, so we take him for a walk outside the parking lot and we bring him in and he seems nice enough and he seems good enough, happy enough. And I kind of took a liking to him. I still wasn't ready to commit, so we bring him in and he peed in the store, of course, not outside. And my son goes and gets a paper towel because the store has them around. cleans it up. And so then we said to her, well, we have a cat, so our only concern is, how is he with cats? And she was like, I don't really know because he just came he's from Texas. But I'll tell you what, I have a couple of cats and a couple of dogs, and I'll bring him home, and he could stay with me for a couple of weeks, and we'll test him out, and we'll see how he makes out with the cats. And I said, okay. So she did, and she said, he really had no interest. Her dogs were more interested in the cats than him. So we went and picked him up and took him home, and he really was good with me, but he more attached himself to my daughter. Like he would sleep in her room at night and stuff like that. And then when she moved, he moved with her, and then he came back when she got married. So he's back with me. Even when he lived with her, he would kind of come to my place for the weekend and stuff. Let me just get his thing. Because he would come to my place for the weekend because they would get a beach house, young girls and stuff like that. And actually, I'm going to sit down so that, we can have this nice grounding event out here. Remember, I talked to you about grounding. It really is so important. And because of all the issues I went through with my coworker, or not even coworker, the entity that I manage, the center, then I think I need to ground because it takes away the negative energy as well. I mean, that's part of it, is that, if you're a subscriber to my channel, then chances are that you're like an earth angel or a chosen one or whatever it is that you believe you are. You might just be a spiritual person. You feel just connected to the earth and a greater being. So anyway, then you'll understand what I'm talking about, that you're on a higher vibration than a lot of other people. And so sometimes you just don't feel right, I watched Maji. I don't know if you watch Maji, so if you don't, Maji got the tea. Look her up, Maji. Shout out to Maji. She's awesome. And anyway, I was listening to her today, and she was talking about how, sometimes you might walk into a room and you automatically feel the energy change. Now, I can change the energy in a room very easily. Very easily. And, for a long time, well, at first I embraced it. But I was a little bit of a kind of a J.O. And not really a J.O., but, I was young and I didn't... you get drunken with power, so when you realize that you can control the energy in the room, you sometimes, make the wrong choices on how you, on what you do and who you allow to attach to you. And so there are low vibrational energies. Now, I always want to kind of save everybody, so they definitely attach themselves to me. I thought it was because I wanted to save everybody. I'm sorry, I'm just going to go like this because some of that greenery is kind of icky looking. But there's Gunner. Hey, Gunner, you ready? So I always thought they just attached themselves to me, but what Maji explained today is that, or I always thought that they were seeking me for another reason, more so like I was sent to save them, or I was, yeah, I was sent to save them. I was sent to help them. You know, there were good people inside. I could see whoever these people were. I mean, I wasn't like that with everybody, of course. But there's some people that you meet and they make really bad choices, but you could see the goodness inside of them and they attach themselves to you. And you think that you can save them or you can lift them up and everything. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to help people, because you should. But you have to be in the right place. And I wasn't, right? So no one taught me, no one told me and taught me that people were energy vampires and that they were going to take my energy. You hear the birds? You hear that bird? So he's yelling. Anyway, but no one told me that. And I don't know, unless you have someone to tell you. See, here's the thing. My grandma was really my mom was psychic, no doubt. She would have these dreams she would tell us about. She would see, people would appear to her in the middle of the night. Or she would just know, like he would be like trying to sneak around something and she would just know. And it wasn't just simply intelligence. Like there was stuff that was like, how did you know that? You know what I mean? So, and she would just say, never mind how I know. And then I'm like that too. So, like, you can't explain how you know. You just get a download of information and you know it's true because it was a download into your brain. You know it's true. And then the mere fact that the person is like, how did you, what? How did you know that? They just prove that you're correct. I mean, it's a blessing in a sense, but it's also a curse. Let me tell you, it is really a curse because, in a sense, because, if you're with somebody who isn't of the highest, is not the same vibration as you, and they're trying to like pull a bunch of BS on you, and they're trying to get over on you, they're lying to you for whatever reason. Sometimes I've had people lie to me about stupid stuff, such inconsequential stuff. So it's almost like the lie itself gives them some sort of control. Or I've had people lie to me just because they had like this addiction to keeping secrets. And so it wasn't even like they were doing anything that big a deal. Like if they had told me, it wouldn't really have mattered. However, they were addicted to the secret telling. I mean, it's just some really crazy stuff. I've had addictions too. I mean, I had too much to drink plenty of times. Probably drank too often plenty of times. I don't really drink very much now, but in my lifetime. I've done plenty of things that I'm not sitting here judging anybody, but I don't know. It's just crazy how energy is. I try to stay high vibe if I can, but I'm not a saint. Basically, that's what it is. I try to stay as high vibe as I can possibly stay, but I'm not a saint. Yeah, I will go out and meet a friend for drinks. And maybe if I'm with the right people and having a great time, I will have too much to drink. Anyway, but for the most part, I try to be high vibe. I don't hurt people intentionally. I don't set out to hurt people and ruin their day. Most of the time when I hurt somebody, it's reactionary and my words can be very sharp. But, and then I usually feel guilty, even when they deserve it, I do. But mostly when they don't deserve it. But I don't hurt people intentionally. I hope you don't either. Look at him, isn't he so cute? Back to him, though. I'm out here with him. This is like how I ground a lot during the day. I just come out and throw the ball at him and Now I'm sitting in the grass, but I usually just stand in the grass. I'll take my shoes off. But he was the best decision that I made because, and I'm sure my son probably did it so he could then move out of the house guilt-free, because my son does watch over and protect me. And he lives like really close, right down the street. But he, he needed to move out, of course. And then shortly after we got him, he did leave. But this guy, Gunner, has been so cathartic for me. I cried. My daughter then moved out, and then took him. And I cried because I was alone. She had moved out. I was alone before other people moved back in. But I cried for her, but then I really cried for my dog because he is such a sense of comfort, and dogs are really special, and they're very healing, and he is so sensitive. I'm an empath. I think I told you that, and I feel sometimes even just the pain of the world. I feel pain very deeply. I feel things a lot deeper than the average person. Empaths do. If you feel things stronger than most people around you, then chances are you are an empath as well, and you should look it up. But anyway, he's really tied into me. And when I cry, he's so concerned, and he's there by my side. And when he meets somebody he likes a lot, he looks at me like, is it okay that I like this person a lot? And I just say, yeah, it's okay, buddy. And he still loves my daughter. He actually whimpers when she comes. And he loves my son, too. He's the one man that he loves and he respects. He gives my son respect. And, he is like a goat and a deer. Look at him. He loves the grass. He eats grass every day. He loves it. He just loves it. He just loves it. He chases the deer away, but you saw the baby deer. Mama had babies, and I think the other night he got out real quick when I went, to take him out late at night, and he ran out, and I heard him, eh! And then I went out to see what it was, and then she came forward like, hey, Mama. And I said, all right. So her baby must have been around at that time. And she doesn't mess around, and I don't let him go near the babies, So, and he's respectful of the babies. He just ran to chase her away, and her baby must have been there, so she kicked him. So, poor thing. He's tough as nails, though, this guy. He weighs about 50 pounds. He's fierce, though. He will snarl. He's got my back, and I have his. Right, buddy? You got my back? Anyway, if you have an opportunity to get a dog, they're a really great therapy. I might try to get him certified again and then take him to a hospital. And I did a whole paper on therapy dogs, a research paper. Like I created a research experiment. And mine was, because we had to do an experiment that hadn't been conducted before. And therapy dogs, I had read enough research articles on therapy dogs to see the kind of results they produced. And so I chose therapy dogs, and I had children, my daughter was in college at the time too, and she was sort of struggling. So I did a thing on therapy dogs and how the colleges should allow people to have a therapy dog at school, and I created a whole program and a monitoring and all that and everything. So it is something I've always wanted to do, and he is getting older, so I really should do that pretty soon. So let me write that down, guys, and I'm going to do that, because here's the thing. We have to start checking this stuff off on our list. For years I'm like, oh yeah, I have to do that someday. Oh yeah, I have to do that someday. We have to do these things. So I'm going to look into that, okay? So I'm outside, and I noticed that you guys like to look at nature, so that's why I came out and I filmed my dog. There was a bunny rabbit out here. My cat's hiding in the bushes over there. So, Kitty, Kitty, Kitty. She's hiding. See that little hole? She's hiding in there. Cats are funny. Cats are very, very funny. Anyway, I don't want to bore you anymore. And I hope that you enjoyed the Gunner show. Gunner's ready for another throw. Ready, Gun? Last one. Ready? Here we go. And then Kitty came out. She knows I'm closing it up because she's that smart. So she came out and say, hi, Kitty. And we're going to go in and have our dinner. So you take care. Have a good night.